I ask you an interesting question. How much of Oblivion would exist without Daggerfall? They're both the games in the series in which they have very knightly medieval sort of feeling. I actually posted a short just today about the political kind of scheming and the Game of Thronesiness of Daggerfall, and the fact that the great houses within Morrowind kind of lend themselves to that kind of writing style. Oblivion is a weird one. Oblivion is not alien in the way that Morrowind is. It's fanciful. Everything in Oblivion lends itself to this kind of feeling of being in this kind of fey realm where everything is watercolor and soft textures and unserious, almost. A lot of the writing in Oblivion has very serious themes, but you're never feeling this oppressive sense of duty and seriousness that you get in games like Daggerfall and Morrowind. You really don't get that in Skyrim either, but I could see someone saying that they do. So, Oblivion... I think Oblivion is the one game in the Elder Scrolls that is a profound departure from themes that Daggerfall injected into the world. And, oh look, a literal king of hell is invading the world, let's fuck off and do side quests. I mean, honestly, and even in Skyrim, right? The doomsayer of the dragons has arrived, and now I'm going to join the Thieves Guild instead of fighting him. Even though I'm the one person in the universe that can defeat him. There's a grandiosity there that is... It kind of parodies itself when you end up doing all these side quests and avoiding that very serious thing. Within Daggerfall, there's a lot of political intrigue, but you could argue that the world is not going to end if you don't find out the cause of King Lysandas's ghost. There might be some political strife, there might be some wars, but aren't there always? Within Morrowind, there is an existential threat, but you don't know that for probably half the game. And only at the end do you realize the big reveal that there is this existential threat in the form of Dagothr, and you are the chosen one that can defeat him. Oblivion and Skyrim are major shifts away from that kind of more grounded idea. Oblivion and Skyrim allow you to be grounded, but the reason for being in the world and your character, Oblivion didn't do this, you're not the chosen one in Oblivion, but you still end up in this very serious scenario where you kind of end up being the most important guy anyways, which, of course, RPG, but within Morrowind and Daggerfall, I have never once felt important in Daggerfall. I've never once felt in Daggerfall that the world would not just keep on going without me. There was also a heavy divide between Morrowind and Oblivion where the game changed to suit the writing because it was dependent on emotional payoffs instead of the more complex world of Morrowind. No more teleportation, no more freeform questing with multiple paths and guilds. Absolutely. Even in Morrowind, your character quite literally is pushing against the grain of their destiny by taking out Dagothr, due to him being the greater of evils between him and the Tribune. Yeah. But all this comes down to, do I think there would be an Oblivion without Daggerfall? I have to say there would be no Oblivion without Daggerfall, because Daggerfall laid the groundwork. And Morrowind really became the paragon of the Elder Scrolls. So if there is no Morrowind without Daggerfall, there was no any Elder Scrolls without Daggerfall. It's kind of a cheap answer, but it is true, ultimately. But then you can kind of get into the weeds like we just did, and talk about the finer details, and realize that modern-day Elder Scrolls is really a shadow of what games like Morrowind and Daggerfall set out to do.